So, what's going for a song today? Join BBC One now for an antique revelation.
Thank you and welcome to Going for a Song, or rather welcome back. If you're my vintage, you won't need telling what this show is all about. But if you've never heard of Arthur Negus, then you ought to know that we look at antiques and mystery objects, and guess what they are and how much they would cost to buy. Well, here are the two teams led by Captain Leslie Ash with Paul Carter-Robinson, who has an antique shop in Kensington, and Tony Slattery with Leslie Verinder, who is an avid collector and works in a Bond Street silk shop. Ensuring fair play and providing the expert knowledge is Eric Knowles. The scoring's very simple. A maximum of 3 points for each object and the rest at the discretion of your chairman. That's me and Mr. Knowles. So let's get on with the first round and let's have that first object. Alan, please. The first object to Tony. And no, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to say what that is.
Why? Is it kind of cigarette case, is it, or something else? How do you get that open? It's like a...
Carefully, cigarettes.
Says inside, RAF on the occasion of the United Services broadcast. 1940, April 11th, 1940. And there's an...
Silver.
It's silver, yes. And there's an autograph inside saying Leslie...
Howard.
Oh, Leslie Howard.
Ah.
Ah, so we're talking theatre, somehow.
It's
something belonging to Leslie Howard. What do you think?
It's silver cigarette case. I can't quite read the hallmark. London, I think. But I think the value of this is probably the Leslie Howard rather than the silver cigarette
And the time
case.
would be around about what?
Exactly, April 1940.
Ah! Ask a silly question, you get it.
That. No, that's the nearest I can do.
Right.
But the suede pochette is very nice for walking down swinging London with some perfume in it.
Just say obviously the value in that, if there be any value at all, is in the autograph of Leslie Howard. Okay, and there's another autograph there too, actually, which you missed out, chaps. There, look. It says David Niven.
Oh.
Does it not?
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Well, it might do. It's very indistinct.
Oh. So there we have it. It's signed by both David Niven and Leslie Howard. So, Eric, what price did you put on it, you say?
I should think £200 or £300 for the novelty value of the signatures.
£200 or £300
for the Leslie Howard and David.
But I was wondering if that were a kind of auction. I mean, you know, David Niven is such a big star. Like maybe a bit more.
No, let's see, Eric.
So what price are you going to go for?
Per autograph.
500.
Go for 500.
500.
Okay.
£500.
Okay. Well, absolutely right. That's what makes this special. The exact date, by the way, the hallmark on there, which is for Birmingham, is for Birmingham 1939. But to all intents and purposes, a cigarette case like this wouldn't be of any great value. This, in actual fact, I know the gentleman who owns it, and he was the original owner who got David Niven and Leslie Howard to sign it. And they, at the time, were making a film called The First of the Few, which I think I'm right in saying was all in connection with the Battle of Britain or whatever.
Right.
So you're absolutely right on, obviously, the date. We can't really fault you for that, can you, because we told you. But when it comes to value, well, the figure I've got written down here is £500.
Exactly right. Well done. Very well. Just on a point there, I mean, anybody could write those signatures in there, so how can you authenticate them?
Well, simply because I know the man who owns it, and so he was the chap that actually got it signed.
But you need that kind of provenance.
You need that sort of provenance, or else, you know, you can argue till you're blue in the face and somebody might offer you £80 for it, or £100 if you're lucky.
Okay. So maximum points then for Tony and Leslie. Let's see how Leslie and Paul get on. Alan, please, let's have the next object. Looks an interesting little thing, this.
Wow.
No, Leslie, what do you reckon?
Now, let me see. Well, it's absolutely beautiful and very, very old, and it looks very, very fragile, so we'll be very careful with this. Oh, I don't know whether you can see that. absolutely beautiful. It's obviously some sort of sewing kit, or it must be because it's... Can you just hold the...
Sure, I have the lid.
There's the little place here, yes. It's got, obviously this I think would probably be to put pins in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's silver and beautifully embroidered. I don't know quite what this would be. This
Paul,
bit.
is this in your expert area of
Have you got
knowledge?
any
No,
idea?
not at all,
It's not.
really. No.
Maybe that would be
I'm
just
looking at it.
inkwell. Maybe it's just something for a lady's dressing table.
I think that it may go above and beyond that. It may be something to do with not only sewing but also surgical, possibly.
Really?
It may have some sort of other uses. Now, these are pretty well for darning and other things, but the bottles are what throw me. I think that...
Or might they be what, perfume?
I don't
Don't know.
I
There's
don't
also some
think
sort
so.
of
Maybe
glass
medicine.
here
Maybe
as
medicine.
well.
maybe
Ah.
medicine.
Ah.
So I think that it's really the...
All right, so what about a date on it then? What period do you think we're talking about here?
It's so beautiful. I've got...
Is
Oh
it?
God, I have to give it to you.
Yeah, I would think that it's early Victorian.
Yeah.
Early Victorian.
definitely early
And
Victorian.
could you put a price on it?
Now, I don't see any silver hallmarks, so unfortunately,
It's very difficult, that, isn't it?
yeah,
On an
I
Have a guess.
don't. I don't actually think that it's British either. But maybe
Do you
I'm
not?
wrong.
Right?
Right, okay, so what should we say then?
Value-wise, I don't know, something between £200 and £300.
All right,
Really,
value
is that all?
300, not British, early Victorian, and an assorted box, which could contain medicines and darning equipment. What is it, Eric?
Well, it is a ladies' nécessaire. In other words, it's a compendium. Everything you would need if you go on your travels from one large country house to another, you take it with you so you're never caught short.
Would there be medicines in the bottom there?
Little smelling salts, perfumes.
All right.
In actual fact, the bottles are almost certainly later.
Right.
So the bottles are actually later, and by later I mean Georgian.
Ah,
So we're going back before
it's
the
much
Georgian
earlier than
period.
I thought.
You're looking at an object that was made in and around about 1690. So
Okay.
it is quite ancient. But you were right in your suggestion that it was for sewing, etc. The actual fabric itself, it's seen better days, bless it. A bit tired, with this lovely silver thread known as silver galon. The fittings are silver, although they're not actually hallmark, but they are silver. And when it comes to value, it's nearer £1,400, I'm afraid, than it is the three.
We've lost that on that one.
So I think,
So what do you reckon there?
I reckon 1 point there.
1
actually.
point.
I think reckon 1 point.
1 point.
We'll do better next time.
3-1 to Tony and Leslie. Let's have the next object, please, Alan, for Tony and Leslie. Let's make this interesting piece. Now then, what do we reckon, Tony?
Snacks, isn't it?
Yes, so the first thing would say drinks coasters, but I think it might be a bit vulgar for this programme.
Can you think of a posh word for them?
Coasters.
Coasters?
Very nice coasters.
Right.
There's something written that's different. Oh, these are roundel coasters. These are roundel coasters. When you have a bit of a do, you would turn them like that and put your drinks on them.
Yes.
And then when you're drunk, you'd turn them back over and sing the song.
Nellie Dean and stuff like that, would you?
Oh, wonderful.
These
So,
are roundel
are they
coasters.
different songs or
Different
the
songs,
same
we
sort
know.
of thing?
They are.
So,
There was an old man of... Oh, no, I can't remember. Good Lord.
It's a roundel coaster.
they're nice, round the coasters. So, all right, so what period do you reckon, Leslie? What do you think?
Late 1800s or something?
Late 1800s, early 1900s.
All right.
A
and
price, I don't
price?
know. I've never...
Because the wood isn't precious, is it? I mean, it's just... No.
Just, again, novelty value. Or,
But
yeah,
a price,
a bit wormy as well.
it's a bit wormy. Yes, you're right.
Could it be older than you think, you see? Pass it down that. What do you think?
Look at the writing.
You're right, it's Egyptian.
That's why I didn't know the song.
Could it be older? Is that a clue?
Yes.
I don't know, suddenly, it might be older.
It suddenly looks
Do you
older,
think?
yeah.
Yes.
But then,
I think so.
Are they special symbols around the edge?
We shall all reveal shortly, but quickly a time and a
Well,
value.
it's earlier. Okay. What do you think?
well, can we go back about 1600?
All right, 1600 and a valuation? Given that you've gone back that far now, which will make it more attractive.
2,000?
Ah, all right. So, 1600 we go back
I
to.
didn't give you a chance.
They are...
But Michael was looking at me rather aggressively.
No, not at all.
Wait till we hear the price before.
So, Eric, there you are. They're rather nice, aren't they? They are these roundels, correctly identified. 1600, they say, and about £2,000.
Well, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what they were for. You would all sing a verse. You take it in turns. They'd all be spread around the table, and then one person would sing a verse, and then the next person would get up and they'd sing a verse. Presuming, of course, they all knew the words of the song, but they got the words there. But the giveaway really on the date is there, because you've got a Tudor rose. So you came out with 1600. We had it down around about sort of 1570, 1580. So you're not very far out, and you're not too far out on the price, because the figure I've got down here is £2,000.
This is
Very well done. Maximum points.
I mean, the mind boggles, doesn't it? Really.
Does
My
indeed.
mind's boggling, certainly. I think I've used up the luck for the rest of my life. I can't.
Very well done. You're 6-1 in the lead at present, but we might get maximum points now, perhaps, from Leslie and Paul. Alan, the next object, please, if you will. This is rather lovely, actually. Just something...
It's a tea service.
I think I'll borrow a piece
go on,
here.
have a look. It's British. The lion, yeah?
Yes, it's British. It's Birmingham. Points for that, hopefully. I think.
And there's something written there. I don't
Right.
know, with Dundee, in fact.
Right. Okay, I can probably tell you a little bit more about this. It's a silver tea set, which we all can see, but it's made by A.E. Jones, which is a Birmingham manufacturer or designer of arts and crafts silverwork. Probably, I'm not as good as Eric is with rattling off the dates on it, but I would put it somewhere around, I don't know, 1900 to 1910.
And what about the value?
Value-wise, as it's silver and as A.E. Jones is quite popular, somewhere probably around 1500 to 2000.
Eric, move them down to Eric then. That seems a fairly accurate
I think so
assessment.
too, yes. A.E. Jones, it's a magic name in turn-of-the-century silver, and we are talking turn-of-the-century, as you say. In fact, you said between 1900 and 1910. Well, the date's 1903. But, there's an object. I see it, and I don't know what it is about it. It just makes me smile. It's one of those, it's just a nice object. And not an easy thing to sort of knock over. Very functional as well. A lot of people are very keen to buy the silver of A.E. Jones, and they would be very happy to buy that for around about £1,800. So, from that point of view, we should give you full marks.
All right, well done. So, from round 5 coming up, the score is 4 to Leslie Asher's team and 6 to Tony Slattery's team. Not that anybody's counting or cares, really. But round 5 is where Eric gets to grapple with a particularly large, precious piece, lucky man, while our expert bidders merely concentrate their minds on its price. So, Eric, please tell us all.
Well, it's a delightful piece of furniture dating from around about 1800. It is, as you can see, a Pembroke table. But the thing that I love about this is this wonderful flame mahogany. I mean, there's centuries of careful, nurturing, polishing gone into this particular table. And it looks very, very delicate with these very slender legs, the way they taper down here, just to that tiny, tiny little brass caster. And looking at the handles, well, we haven't got absolute full perfection here, because the handles, if I can just pull them through, let's take out a drawer. See them there? Turn them round, and you find that we've got 2 holes at the back. These handles, in actual fact, were probably put on in the reign of about William IV, so we're talking about 1835. The actual border is banded in satin wood, and it's inset within very, very fine boxwood stringing. A delightful table, an object that a lot of people would want to own. The question is, how much would they pay to own it?
Eric, thank you. So that's the question. Leslie and Paul, what do you think?
Well, seeing as it's, as you say, the handles aren't actually the original handles, I suppose that brings the price down slightly. But even so, it's still very old. What do you think, colleague?
I'd go for, again, about £1,500.
About
£1,500, okay. Tony and Leslie?
We think it's a wee bit more,
Yeah.
a wee bit more expensive, because it is very pretty and it's very functional. And I think we go for 2,000.
All right, 1,500 over here, 2,000 here.
Well,
What is it?
1,500 would buy it.
Really? Very well done. Much needed point to you, Leslie
Yes,
Ashes.
could I just say 2,000 would make the
Would
owner
also buy it.
happier?
I might take a point off
cutaways?
him for impertinence. That's Tony and Leslie now in the lead just by 1 point, 6 points to 5. Let's have the next object, please. Alan, 2, Paul and Leslie. And what's this? A tiny wee thing.
It's obviously made of ivory, don't you think?
Yeah, it's Japanese.
Japanese.
And it's
It's a horse. It's rather beautiful, actually. I don't know whether you can see exactly how much detail is here. It's absolutely beautiful. Is there any dates on it at all? Or if there are, they're in Japanese, and we can't actually...
at least the artist's mark is here. It's called Netsuki.
Oh,
It's it's more than likely Japanese, and these were very much collected by the Japanese. Now this one, sometimes they're used as objects to hold kimonos and things, or garments of clothing. But this,
Is there a
to me,
legend
doesn't.
involved? Or is it
I'm not actually.
You're not-
I
it's not
actually.
within your area?
It's not within
All
my
right.
area, but I know that
So-
it is what's known as Netsuki.
All right, and Japanese, and what period do you think?
I would say either late 18th or early 19th century.
All right, and the
By the
price
looks of
on
it.
it? Leslie, do you have an idea of the price?
do I have an idea of the price? 700?
All right, £700. Eric Knowles,
Okay.
tell us all.
Well, it's a fabulous little netski.
But
Date-wise, it's a good point, actually, without being unkind. The number of times people phone me up and say, I've got a few Netsukis.
Yes,
it's all in the pronunciation,
Because
because
it's spelled that way.
it's
Yes.
and
Right.
I have to admit, until I made that trek to London, I called them Netsukis for years
Yes.
and years and years. But Netski.
Netsuki,
Either way, it's a little treasure. The carving that has gone into this is quite phenomenal. It really is. The subject is a man called General Gentoku. And you see him here on his trusty steed. And this is an episode from his life when he was besieged in a castle. And the only way out was across a rather steep ravine with a torrent, a river rushing beneath it. And this is how the carver has captured him, fording that stream. The signature on the base is for a carver called Gyokumin Chosai, and he is quite a respected carver, and I would tell you now that you would have to part with £1,200 to buy it.
And the period, what?
Period about 1890.
1890.
Right,
So
But you were right to say possibly late 18th century, because there is a version of this in the Victoria and Albert Museum which is 18th century, but alas, This is 19th century.
So how do we score that then?
I think we score 1 point there.
1 point. All right. So the scores are six each then. So the next object to Tony and Leslie. Alan, please. This is beautiful. I love this.
You can see straight away from the colour it's...
Is that
Lalique?
Lalique?
It probably says it's got to say it somewhere.
But a Lalique what?
It's a car mascot, because I saw it in a book the other day.
Did you?
Yes. I don't know how much it is, but it's lovely.
It's beautiful.
That wouldn't last long in your car today, would it?
Not, I live in Stockwell. If I put that on the front of my Mercedes, I think it wouldn't last.
No.
The colour's beautiful. I mean, it's sitting here on blue, and you can see all sorts of shades inside. It really is wonderful. I don't know, she probably has a name the same way as the Spirit of Ecstasy has a name.
Yes. Mildred.
Mildred.
It is beautiful, and it's my goodness, that car was going fast, wasn't it? Look at that. Look at that.
You'd like to own that, would you, Tony?
Yes, you
It is
bet.
beautiful, isn't it? Yes. So what period are we thinking about? What time?
1930.
1930s. And the price?
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
I mean, what
Two and a
about?
half, three.
3,000. I mean,
3,000,
I've seen them up to 5,000 before, some of the more popular ones.
Do you want to increase your bid?
Between 3 and 10,000.
Roughly.
Give me a price.
4. Should we say 4?
I mean, I'd even go up to 5. I have seen them for sale at so much money. I mean,
5. I'll take your last bid. Just pass it down then. 5. It is absolutely beautiful. Pass that down to Eric.
Right.
And Eric, Lalique, as we said,
Yes,
a car
you're right.
mascot. That's right.
And
too.
she does have she has a name.
A name.
She's called Crisis. But spelled Chryssis.
midlife
And she is rather special for the simple reason that she's opalescent. Now, Lalique was responsible for producing 29 car mascots, most of which feature in the believe it or not, the 1932 catalogue. This particular one, because it's opalescent, I know of only 6 or maybe 7 others in the world. Consequently, she is going to be worth in the region of £14,000. But it's only money, Tony. It's only money.
How many did they make of those car mascots?
Well, of this particular model, as I say, we only know there are very, very few.
I know that, but
Now,
generally speaking.
But they made 29 different versions. But anybody watching who thinks they've got one of these, please remember this is opalescent, because they made an awful lot just in frosted glass. So, you know, before you rush out to book a cruise, look very carefully. But either way, if you've got a frosted one, it's worth about 3,000.
Is it? But everybody gasped at the 14,000. Do they go higher than that?
I think the record price that I've had for a car mascot is about 27,000.
27,000?
27,000.
And what was that? Was a Lalique again?
That was a Lalique car mascot. That was when the market was at its height about 7 years ago. The Japanese arrived with it and threw this wall of money into the Lalique market, and things just went crazy.
Eric, may I ask you something? Just to recap, you did say that the frosted ones cost 3,000-ish.
Yes.
Which I believe was the first figure I said, Michael. Just wanted to say.
Yes, you should do. Yes. You were on the right. You were on the right track, Tony. Yeah.
I think he wants to win this contest. You know, I really do.
He's so competitive.
Absolutely.
Isn't he?
Yes. But that's lovely. That's the thing in today's show that I most would like to possess. But so scoring. I mean, they got the Lalique, obviously.
I think they did. I think we've got 2 marks there.
2 marks.
Yeah.
All right. Well done. So that makes the score 8 to Tony's team and 6 to Leslie's team. Now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, the climax to our show, the moment we reveal our mystery object, something weird and wonderful which Mr. Knowles has chosen to baffle and confound us all. Eric, what have you got?
well, here it is. It's made of cast iron, that I'm going to tell you. Shall I pass it down? You can all have a quick...
Yes.
The
first, this one, we want you to try and tell us what it is, and then later on we'll have a guess at the price of it. So, Leslie, what do you think it is?
Yeah, so obviously it's got 4 holes in each side. I don't know whether you can see that. So it obviously was screwed down onto something.
Mm-hmm.
It's got something written in there. I don't know if you can see. No, maybe not.
It's
Maybe it's just some little marks.
not much of a clue, though.
Oh, wow.
What might it be? All right, screwed down.
It obviously was some sort of...
suppressive, some sort
Well,
of...
I don't know if it... Cigarettes?
Shall we
Oh, I
see?
don't know. Why would you want to press a cigarette like that?
Let's go with that. So,
It's- it's-
I don't really.
there we are. Oh, what do you reckon is the Tony?
Well, at first we thought it might be something sort of chemist shop, like a suppository maker or something. But it hasn't.
Did we think that? I just...
You did. But it's for making something the shape of a rhombus shape.
The only thing that occurred to me, and I have no idea, is that a lot of people think when they have iron things like that, it's a very aggressive bang movement. But cast iron is actually quite brittle, isn't it? So I was thinking it had to be something sort of
press down.
soft or something.
Is it for shaping something in corks? Is it corks?
You're absolutely right.
Is
it
it?
is.
Oh, very well
You're
done.
absolutely right. Is it corks?
So we have that. Then it's a cork shaper. Is that?
Here's one I made. Here's one I made earlier.
Oh, yes.
The idea is very simple. That you would roughly carve the cork into that shape, and then you would take this and you would press it down.
Right.
And while it was compressed, in a chemist shop, you would then take your cork or whatever and get it into the bottle quick before it slowly expanded. So absolutely right. I think we can only give full marks all round here.
Oh, it's getting boring, isn't it? Getting boring. Getting boring. But what we do need before we go is a guess at the price from the two of them. So, Mastermind, over here on our right, the price. Go on, have a guess.
I can't think of what you'd do with one if you had it now, but I
They're
mean,
cool.
it's bound to be rare, but... 150, 200 pounds?
Maybe I don't know, a bit more, maybe like 4 or 5, I'd say.
£500.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, there's
Four
more than 100.
£450. We'll go between them, all right? What do we reckon, Leslie?
I would think £100.
£100.
£100. Yeah, you'd be wise to go 100 because I've got £80 written down.
Yeah,
here,
so
so
I was even going to go less on it.
All right.
My price is on there.
Well, there we are then. So that's a very convincing win for you today, young Mr. Slattery, by 11 points to 7. Very well done indeed. Our thanks to Eric, of course, and to the two teams for all their nous and knowledge. Join us again tomorrow at the same time when we'll be going for a song. Until then, goodbye.
Thank you.